Remote desktop, zoom and full screen, how? Win10 remote, Win7, 2008 and 2003 hosts. Problem: when I use remote desktop from a Surface Pro 4, running Win10, to a Win7 or Win 2003 system, the high IP of the Surface results in the remote desktop being too tiny to see. In this case, the remote is the Surface, with high-resolution display, and the host is low, legacy 92p, resolution display. This issue is discussed and demonstrated in MS blogs here and here on Soothe. However, the problem I experience is the following. Yes, there is the zoom feature in the RDP client. However, when I use it, I lose the ability to go full screen on the client, to use all client real estate, and to get Alt Tab and other keys passed up to host. After 30 minutes of use, I can say clearly that the zoom feature in the Win10 RDP client is not useful for real work. We made sure the Win7 hosts are already on Win7 SP1 with KB29235545 installed. This makes no difference that we can see. I tried using Remote Desktop Connection Manager, as proposed here, but it appears to lack the ability to give me a zoomed, full-screen experience. Perhaps I failed to find it, but I poked it a lot. There is a report that the current 2.7 version lacks the needed functionality, and that the older 2.2 version should work, but we did not find the 2.2 version for download. So, my old VAIO laptop is great for remote desktop, and my new Win10 Surface is, currently, unusable as a remote desktop remote client. How do I get my new Surface as usable as the old VAIO? Note: we are looking to use the Win10 Surface as a real RDP client to Win7, 2008 and Win 2003 hosts. Right now, from all our work so far, this is simply a missing feature. And we are suffering. Note: please don't tell us to log out and start a new session on the host. This defeats the purpose, is not useful, and is a huge regression from the functionality we had before trying the Surface. Also, please don't tell us that only Win10 gives the right experience. We had a fine experience using legacy P remote systems. The problem is the high IP Surface.
I must say, this has been very frustrating. The Microsoft RDP client is simply missing functionality that is required in this new, multi-P world. I found a solution, and have verified it both on the Surface 4 Pro and Asus PB279Q 27 inches 4K/UHD 3840 by 2160 monitors at Full P, and the Dell XPS 13, running ultra-sharp QHD Plus resolution, 3200 by 1800. I expect this approach will work for any high-P remote. Further, I have verified it when the host machine is regular P and high-P, specifically Asus PB279Q 27 inches 4K/UHD 3840 by 2160 at native resolution. First, I should note that the Microsoft Remote Connection Manager path, mentioned here, did not work for me. If it works at all, it would appear that only v2.2 of that tool can do what is needed. The version current of this writing is 2.7, and it did not cut it, despite a lot of tinkering. But I repeat, the stock remote desktop client should solve for this. I found no working solution on any thread here on Stack Exchange. But then I found this thread on the Microsoft forums. It mentions an RDP client I had never heard of, remoting. I tried it, and bingo! The working solution. Remoting works %100. Just like magic. I get an RDP client, full screen, with Alt Tab and other keys passed to the host, just like in the Microsoft RDP client, mstsc.exe, and it looks great. It handles the difference in resolution automagically, and just works. I had hours of use with it, and it flies. This is the first time since getting this new Surface 4 Pro that I have had usable remote desktop. So I am happy. Additional solution, well, Band-Aid, In updated Windows 10, June 2016. The Remote Desktop Client, in updated Windows 10, has a zoom option in the system menu that works at least with Win 2008 or 2 and higher target machines. The rendered quality is lacking, but this option does work. Was very useful after upgrading desktop to high-p displays. This client does not remember the zoom level, however, so you find yourself having to set it every time you connect. Yuck! This path is a band-aid, not a solution. Reported additional solution. Not tested by this writer, but reported by friend at Microsoft. Remote Desktop Connection Manager, this URL.
Windows 7, or Server 2008, does not support RDP protocol version 8, which introduces p-remoting, which is what the article you referenced talks about. This results in the behavior that you are seeing. You can have either full screen or zoom, but not together frown. The fix is to update to Windows 7 SB1, or Server 2008 or 2 on the server side, and make sure that you have the following patch installed, this URL, then you will have p-remoting, so not everything will be tiny. After you have p-remoting, if you connect to an existing session, log in as someone who is already logged in, you might run into issues with the Windows UI and applications still have the old p settings. These issues have been mostly addressed in Windows 10, UI elements now scale with p settings change. The best remoting experience is Windows 10 to Windows 10.
I've been fighting this since I got my Surface Pro 4 in September. Not until I managed to update to the anniversary edition 1604 have I found a solution. On each RDP session, the size did not match my screen. Constant use of the sidebars to maneuver. However, today, I discovered that when you are in the remote session, the system menu, upper far left corner, has a smart sizing option. Even though the setting doesn't persist between sessions or machines, the extra 2 clicks are far better than before. The zoom and other controls that are there were not what I needed.
I had the same problem when ripping from my Surface Book to legacy Windows 7 and Server 2012 clients. The RDP window is tiny and unseeable. I found this solution, which works well for me so far. You can disable HID awareness for MSDSC.X, the remote desktop client, which gives you the correct scaling when doing an RDP connection from a client with a HID display to a remote host that doesn't support HID. To do so, copy C:\Windows\system32\MSDSC.X to MSDSC2.X. Copy C:\System32\NS\MSDSC.X.MUI to MSDSC2.X.MUI. Set a registry key for MSDSC2.X that disables HID awareness for MSDSC2.X. Reg add hklm/software/microsoft/windows-nt/current version /@compat flags/layers/t reg_vc:\windows/system32\msdsc2.x/d-pi_on-os/f. Then, always use MSDSC2.x when you want to make an RDP connection to a non-HID aware remote host.
If you want to support the channel, please